deadline in this sector for voluntary presentation at the experimental center is 6 o'clock.
You're supposed to be an artist. Use your imagination.
Oh, thanks a lot. I'm all out.
What's happening, everybody? It is Thursday in the city. I hope everyone is having an absolutely excellent week so far. I hope 2018 has brought you guys everything that you thought and dreamed that it could bring. Go forth and be great. Go forth and be excellent. This is another episode of Let's Get Your Home Loan Ready. A show that I'm very excited about. A show that I like a lot. It shares a lot of information to people that's looking for a home loan, that's looking for some credit improvement, that's looking for some solutions, that maybe have questions that sometimes they may not feel they can ask to other people because they may not explain it to them in the right way, or they may be condescending in their answers just to tell the truth. Sometimes we're afraid to really ask those questions to people because sometimes people make us really feel dumb for not knowing. Not this show. Not Shelton J. It's not what I'm about. It's not what I do. We all have questions, and the more that we know, the more that we can grow, right? So I can't, help you and give you advice as a consumer if I'm putting you down, if I'm making you feel bad about your lack of knowledge. If I'm supposed to be the mortgage professional, then I have to be professional all the way across the board, right? I have to treat you right, because if I don't treat you right, then how's it going to work for a referral source? How's it going to work when you go to speak to someone about looking for a home? Well, this last guy that did through me, that I did a home loan through, he was a jerk. He wasn't nice at all. He wasn't helpful. He wasn't informative. And he made me feel like I was the worst thing in the world. Probably not going to send me referrals. I'm probably not going to get business from you because of that way that I treated you. So be mindful of how you treat people. I'm definitely mindful of how I treat people. And I want people to treat me the same way. Sometimes it doesn't happen. You don't always get treated the way that you want people to treat you. But at the same time, you stay who you are. Stay locked into who you are, and everything else will take care of itself. Again, this is Let's Get Your Home Loan Ready. If you are already credit qualified and are seeking a home loan in the state of Texas, go to www.aaamortgage.co to go and apply. Look for my name, Shelton Fortenberry. Go there to apply, and we will work on a plan and get you in the right investor, the right program, the right rate, the right price, all those good things if you are already raring to go. And if you are not ready to go yet, then go to www.keeponpushingent.com for a free credit analysis. Free credit analysis where we look at it. We look at your credit. We see what's hurting your score. We see what we can do to improve your score, because all credit reports are not created equal. Everyone's credit report is going to look different. You have some people with 2 pages of credit report, and you have some people with 10 pages. It just all depends on their history and how many accounts they've had opened. Let me get this out. And how many accounts that they have opened over the years, because if you don't close those accounts, they don't just fall off. And so if they're good standing accounts, they're just going to stay there. Even if they're bad accounts, they'll stay there for 7 years. But we'll get into that. We'll definitely get into that. But this is just something I'm excited about, because when I started back doing a loan origination back in October, when I got back into the field, I felt that I could use this platform that I have of the podcast to really share information with the people and about something that I'm truly passionate about. One thing about passion, man, your passion will feed you. Your passion will lead you. Your passion will do what it needs to do for you. If you just continue to stay the course and stay grinding and stay hungry and stay motivated and know your why, your passions will take care of you. Okay. Before I get into it, man, I'm going to have a special guest on my show next week, next Thursday's show. Hopefully, her schedule will allow her to have regular appearances on the show, but she's with Transamerica, right? And they're a life insurance company, and not just life insurance, but also mortgage protection, among so many other things, because we talk about insuring our cars, we insure our health, we insure our freaking cell phones, right? But do we insure our home? Not just homeowners insurance or mortgage insurance. Do we have insurance on a home to where when someone passes away, that home doesn't get taken away? It doesn't get moved away in probate court and all those kind of things, because the numbers and the statistics are staggering about the number of people that loses their home when the main provider passes away because they were not insured properly on that particular home. So we're going to definitely dive into some of those things next week when she's on the show and beyond. And because we're all about community, we're all about sharing this information with those people. So I always want to align myself with people that have the same heart of the community that I do, because I love sharing these things and I really speak about it. I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm smiling right now. I'm smiling right now because I'm just so happy to be able to be here, to be alive, to be a part of this world. I know a lot of things are going crazy and a lot of things are topsy-turvy, but there's a lot of great things going on out here. What are you going to focus on, and what is your passion, and what is your goal? And if one of them is to get into a home, then you're talking to the right person. If one of them is to get your credit right, you're talking to the right person. Let's go. And it's not just credit repair, but it's credit education. But the young lady that'll be on my show will be Crystal Rios, and she will be on the show again next week and hopefully has a recurring role as we discuss different topics that's relative to home ownership, insurance, and things of those nature as well. So I'm really excited about that opportunity and that particular connection that I make, because I really like making great, valid connections. Okay, without further ado, let me get into it. We're talking about credit. I titled this one, credit, right? You want to know your score. You want to know where you stand. You want to kind of go into this mortgage game or lending game with some ammunition. You want to know what's on your report. And if you don't know, go order the free credit reports from annualcreditreport.com. Get them in the mail. Give me a call. Or just go to my website. We can do the free credit analysis, and then we can go from there, and then we can get a viable game plan on what's hurting you, okay? Because one little rule about the credit and collections and stuff, we know that collections stay on your credit report for 7 years, right? And they don't automatically fall off as a lot of people indicate. You have to go sometime prod the credit bureaus to get that off of there and just let them know it's past the statute of limitations, okay? Now, those collections, do you know those collectors? Did you sign a contract with those collectors? No, you did not. Those collectors don't care about you. So I know there's like right now, right? It's about to be income tax time, okay? And I know sometimes that the school of thought is to take some of that income tax money and pay off some of your collections. But before you do that, make sure that you get with a professional that can guide you on which ones that you may want to pay and which ones you may not want. Because the thing about collections is that they're sold for pennies on a dollar from the original creditor. Say, for example, it's Sears. Just say Sears, okay? Say you had an account with Sears and something happened in your life, divorce, death, whatever, right? To where now you couldn't pay that account. Now Sears, after 6 months of trying to get you to pay this account, they write it off as a bad debt. They write it off from their taxes. They take it as a loss on their taxes, right? Written off, done data, as far as Sears is concerned. Now here comes John Q. Collection Company, a debt collector that wants to buy bad debt. They buy that $500 debt for pennies on a dollar. Now they calling you, looking for you, harassing you, trying to get that money from you because they purchased that money for pennies on a dollar. But again, you did not sign a contract with XYZ collector. You signed a contract with Sears. So, do they have the right to collect that money? Do they have the right to call you? There's a thing called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Get familiar with it. Get familiar with it. If you tell them to stop calling you and harassing you, they have to do that per the laws. Or you can send a cease and desist order to them, all right? Because they do not have the right to continue to just harass you about this debt that they purchased for pennies on a dollar. And the original creditor, they written it off as a bad debt, charged off. They're going on about their business, okay? But here's the deal. Depending on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to buy will determine on how you want to handle that particular collection, okay? Say, for example, that you want to purchase a home. In this particular case, we're talking about getting home loan ready. So let's talk about purchasing a home, right? And the underwriter looks at the lender pulls your credit report, and they see this account in here, and it's within 2 years time frame. Anything, just a little quick side note, anything that's within 2 years, that's what's hurting your score the most. Any negative mark that's within 2 year time frame, that's what's the biggest impact on your credit score, okay? So if that's within that 2 year time window, and then the lender looks at it and said, hey, you know what, you may want to tackle this. You may want to have to take care of this because the underwriter is looking at this and stating that this account needs to be paid off. Even though it's a collection, they stated that it needs to be paid off per some of the guidelines or per what the underwriting findings told them that they need to do, that needs to be done. Excuse me. Okay, so now, You go to that debt collector, right? You speak to that debt collector. If you have to pay this off, you want to get a settlement for that, right? If you have to pay this thing off, you don't want to pay the $500 plus the fees and all this kind of stuff, right? Because see, the collector, they don't care about you. So when you call that collector, just keep this in mind as well. When you call that collector, they're going to do everything in their power to get as much money as they can from you. So by listening to this show, you're going to be equipped with some information to speak to that collector, to know how to speak to that collector. You say, hey, I have this debt on my account. And do not let them know that you are shopping for a mortgage loan. Don't let them know that. Reason why you do not want to let them know that is because as soon as you tell them that you're in a position of almost desperation or where you need them, hey, they're not going to be willing to negotiate with you. You have to be in a position of power when you come to negotiating credits and collections that's on your report, okay? So nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So they want to make sure they get something from you, and they're going to try to get the most from you. So you want to go to them and say, hey, you know what? What can we settle this for? I can give you this. And you lowball them. You give them the lowest number that you can that you're comfortable with, all right? You want to give them what you want to negotiate. It's called negotiation. It's not called a hostile takeover. It's negotiation. So you want to make sure that you negotiate. And because if you're going lower than what you're already willing to go, then even if they go a little bit higher, that's still within your window of comfortability, right? And then also what you may want to get from them too, if they allow, if some collectors would do it, pay for delete, meaning that I get a letter from you stating that if I pay this debt off, you remove it from my credit report as if it never happened. As if it was never there, as if it never existed, right? They can do that. Some of them don't like to do it, but they can do it. And if you offer to do it. Now, if you're in a position where, again, you're shopping for a home loan and the underwriter is saying you have to pay this off, if they don't do the pay for delete, just pay it off, give the receipt. You get the updated credit report. They'll rerun the score for you to show the collection paid is zero, and then you can move on from there. But you always want to make sure that you have some kind of guidance, either from a mortgage professional or from a credit professional before you just go out paying off these old debts, because you can overpay and you can also cost yourself more harm than good, because say you pay this collection off down to zero without a pay for delete letter, right? It's still going to hurt your score because now they're going to update it and say, okay, it's a collection. Now it's a recent collection. Even though it's paid, it moves into the recent collection field. So again, it can do more harm than good. It just all depends on your scenario and your situation. It's not a one size fits all. Again, this credit is like, it's carte blanche, man. It's a la carte. It's like everyone is different. Everyone has a different picture. Almost like everyone has different fingerprints, right? Every snowflake is different. Every credit report is different. So it's all about what fits your scenario for that particular time. Say if you're not looking for a home, right? You want to do the settlement. You definitely want to do the pay for delete. You definitely want to do that and let them know that, you know what, I'm not sending you anything there. If you're not going to pay, if you're not going to negotiate with me, then why would I send you anything? Because again, I don't have a contract with you. I didn't sign anything with you. You bought this debt. Okay, I didn't make you buy this debt. You bought this debt. Now, again, I'm not saying ignoring your responsibility. Sometimes things just happen in life. Things happen in life to where, you know, your credit takes a hit, but you can recover from it. So that's what I was saying earlier in the show. Within 2-year time frame is the stuff that you want to focus on. If there's some lace, if there's some things of that nature, we want to make sure we clean that stuff up, because the stuff that's 4 or 5 years ago, that's already done its damage the first 2 years. Right? It's already done what it's going to do. So our job is to clean up the stuff within the recent history, within the recent 24 months, and then also outpace that with some great credit. Some great credit scores, some great trade lines, some great reporting. Go to your bank and get a secured credit card if you can't get an unsecured credit card. Search online for some companies that offer secured credit cards that becomes unsecured after so many amounts of payments, because that increases your credit score as well. You always just want to make sure you have some positive trade lines and mix it up some installment debt. Go to your bank and get a signature loan. Pay it off immediately. Do it again. Watch, rinse, and repeat. Those things will help you get to where you need to get as far as credit-wise, so you can outpace that bad credit. Income tax time is coming. Don't just go paying off those collections just because someone told you to do that. Again, it's going to do you more harm than good. Because the one thing about collection companies, they don't care about you. They do not care about you. I know they've really gotten good, though, because when they call you on the phone, don't they sound nice? Don't they sound so nice? Hello, Shelton. How are you? And as soon as you say, yeah, this is Shelton, they got you. Then you've admitted that debt is yours. They've contacted the right person. And then as soon as they say, this caller's on the recorded line, I want to just make sure I'm talking to the right person. Boom, they got you. So you want to make sure that you are in a position, not them. The collection agencies, again, as I cannot say this enough, they do not care about you. They care about the bottom line. They care about